Welcome back to the Long Two, everybody. Welcome to another NBA episode. We are here to talk about two very exciting teams for you today. We got the Pistons, we got the Suns, we got two great defensive teams, two teams that are overachieving, I would say. Max, how are we doing?
Doing great. I think going into the season, right, I wasn't expecting the Suns to be anything. So I'm very excited to talk about them because having watched a few of their games recently, they kind of become a lot more interesting, especially with the new head coach Jordan Ott coming in. He's brought a completely new mentality to this team. And then obviously the Pistons, they were the darling team of last year where they completely went on that historical run, and they really took a leap. And I thought to myself, going into this year, that potentially there would be something where they could take even a little bit more of a leap and maybe be a real potential playoff contender. And so far this year, they've really proven that they have taken that leap and they've really developed as a team. So both of these teams have been extremely exciting, but I think we should start with the Pistons.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Pistons. Definitely leaps all over this podcast today, but we'll start with what I think is one of the most intriguing leaps in the entire league, which is Jalen Duren, who looks like a potential full-blown superstar, star player. So excited to watch Jalen Duren this year. It's been so much fun. So quick on the stats, and then we'll get into the film breakdown. He's got 3.7 drives per game this year. Now that's not a crazy number, 3.7 drives, but he was 1.9 last year. So it shows you just the confidence with the ball in his hands, basically, upped it by 2 full drives a game. And he's shooting 66.7% from the field on those drives. That's up from 53.6%. So again, we're going to look at some handle improvement. We're going to look at some confidence stuff, and just basically nerd out over Jalen Duren, developing a bag, which is pretty fun because he's 6'10". He's listed at 250. Do we think he's 250? I don't know if I believe that.
Does stone weigh more than muscle? Because he looks like he's chiseled out of stone, dude. He's 22, so that's awesome. Just ridiculous body type on that guy right there. And with Duren, right, we mentioned his pick and roll versatility. He's 10th in the NBA in points per possession as a pick and roll man. So he is really getting it done as the roll man in these pick and roll actions. And then he's 6th in the NBA in in points per game as a pick and roll man. So he is scoring the basketball effectively as that roll man in the pick and roll. The difference between points per possession and points per game, as we've discussed, it's when the possession ends in a turnover, an assist, or a made basket, versus points per game is obviously just Jalen Duren himself scoring. And then he's 2nd in the NBA behind Giannis in field goals made under 5 feet. So clearly he has been upping his game here, and it's obviously just adding some strength to that frame.
Adding the strength, I don't think was the problem. I think adding the skill is the incredible part. When you look at the frame that he's working with, we can just look at this. We're going to go 4 between the legs. 4. Just 4 straight, dribbling like a point guard. Ausar actually bites on that last one. And then Middleton here is going to come up and basically hedge this. But Duren's not scared of it. He's protecting the ball, again, like a guard at that size. And he's just waiting for Middleton to retreat to his guy. And now Duren has that open lane. And I don't know how you stop this guy coming downhill. I just don't know what you do with a guy this big, this athletic, this physical. Just amazing that he can move and handle like this, and then also combine it with just going through guys' chests, right? Going right through Miles Turner here, combining the insane frame and strength with some really nifty footwork there on the spin move. I love him around the elbow. And then here, Mo Gay on him. Mo Gay, awesome defender, but he's not going to be strong enough to guard Jalen Duren. And now that Duren can actually handle the ball and create some stuff, he's on the 3-point line, going to hit an in and out, and now just go right through Mo Gay's chest, get to the rim. The dude's a beast. And then we get to the fun stuff. So teams are going to sag off him because he's a non-shooter, but now, if you sag off him, he's got the confidence now, and he's got enough of a bag that he can just eat up all this space. And he's developed this little pound dribble gather move. This has become a little bit of a signature move for him. Going to that little misdirection pound dribble gather. I love that he's confident enough to just drive right at that. We're going to see that same move basically again here. Duncan draws 2 on the pick and roll, and then Duren catches it, and watch him catch it here catches it, and okay, I have to score on this defender, right? What do I have in my bag? Well, he's got this little move in his bag. Like, that is nice.
Yeah.
That is tough to guard. And then this one, I mean, we can just nerd out. We can just let this one play. We'll just let this thing play. Are you kidding me? He can shoot. Can he shoot? Is
No,
that
he
real?
can't because he's 0% from 3 so far. I think he's taken 0 3 so far. So
Yeah, I didn't have any jump shot stats. He doesn't take enough jump shots for it to be like oh my god, Jalen Duren's a shooter now. But the fact that he even has the confidence or the ability to take shots like this, it's just a flash. And
yeah,
it's like, by the end of the season, is he taking more shots? Is he 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line? Is this just part of his game, or is it just a flash and that's all it is? But yeah, reaction to that.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it just shows that the development that he has had so far this year. I mean, again, he's only 22 years old, right? And if you sit here and tell me, like, could he be some kind of this weird Giannis and Bam hybrid if he adds that like extended elbow jumper or
That's
like
a good
long
hybrid.
two?
Giannis
Like that's
and
a
Bam,
pretty
that's a
good, yeah,
player.
that's a pretty good hybrid, right? Like and I'm just spitballing here, right? But I do think there's something there to that where he has this really interesting mold as a player, and I'm really excited to see what he becomes because him and Cade are this unstoppable two-man two-man pick and roll duo. I mean, offensively, they're 28th in the NBA in three-pointers attempted. So they are not shooting as many threes as like the majority of the other teams in the NBA. But they're fourth in net rating, they're fourth in pace, and they're number one in percentage of points being two-pointers, and fifth in fast break in opposing fast break points. So what they're doing here is they're running a ton of pick and rolls and they're running a lot of fast breaks, and they're really trying to score by just playing old school hard mouth pound the rock basketball, and it's really really effective for them. I think we can switch to my clips here because with Duren, I think he has potential to be something extremely interesting and awesome as a player. So I'm really excited about him as a lob threat. I know we've seen a ton of it so far this year. Him and Cade have just been incredible together. Now, this one obviously is not Cade, it's Dennis Jenkins initiating, and you've probably seen this clip all over Twitter here. But Dennis Jenkins, you're going to see Duren's going to set a ghost screen on the ball here, and then watch the way that he sort of just like pushes Pascal Siakam aside on the roll right here. Watch this. Ready? Boom. See, I don't know if you could you
Just
see that?
throws him out of the way.
He just kind of throws him behind him, like with two hands, just takes him and just throws him right there, and then just gonna slam it.
Sure, yeah, that's
Just
awesome.
disgusting right
he's
there.
just a physical freak. Yeah, just
Absolutely.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then the second one here, so Duren, we're gonna see him doing a little bit of ball handling. He's gonna initiate this DHO with Robinson, which is really something that he's been doing a ton in this offense, is just initiating these DHOs or just being like this DHO hub offensively. And you're gonna see here hits the DHO. He's gonna roll hard off the screen, and then again, he's just gonna almost break the rim with the slam here. Like this is pretty much unstoppable. Like if you can, oh, well, there you go. If you can explain how to stop a roll like this, because I mean, you can try and take a charge, but he's doing this every like a million
Yeah,
times.
who's that helper? Is that
Yeah.
JRE? Yeah, he's not interested.
Yeah, I'm all good on that one, Chief. And then again here, so watch him. He's gonna slip this screen and split the defenders and just kind of roll. You're going to see Claxton do a little bit of like a lazy kind of swipe at the ball, and then he's just going to posterize Clowney.
Oh
He switches to the left hand here. Let's see. It is watch him rise up and switch
he's an
hands.
anomaly of a person.
It is ridiculous. Boom. So not a lot you can do there to stop that.
Yeah, the other one, the first one, Jeremiah Robinson Earl was like, I'm not gonna do anything. That one, it looked like, I think it was Clowney or Claxton actually tried and just gets postered. So either way,
yeah, Clowney tried. JRE was like, I'm pretty sure I'm on a two-way, so I don't know if I should be if I should be doing that. So
it's like Derrick Henry versus a corner. You just give up.
It's like, oh, all right, whatever. That's a business decision. And then again here, you're gonna see Duren. He's gonna screen VJ for Cade, right? Off that pick, he is going to just roll. Look at how quickly he rolls. Again, boom, and then just like gathers the ball and just dunks it on Oubre.
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot you can do. You can't get it away from him. It's just the ability to kind of explode through, sneak through. Like that's a big guy. Oubre's kind of late on the tag there, and he's just gonna make him pay for it. And then finally, he's gonna screen for Buzelis on the ball here, right there. Boom, split the defenders. Giddey is gonna attempt to tag, and just watch how this ends for him. Boom. So
Again, these small guys that have to come over and help, it's just not going to go well.
no. And I mean, 78% of the time that he's a pick and roll man, he's scoring, which is fourth in the NBA. So this guy is
Mm.
effective at scoring the basketball. A lot of these are coming off of lobs or just dunks in general. He's incredible. But one thing that I've kind of seen a little bit that I'm really excited about. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going ham on this front. He's only averaging 2.2 assists per game, but he has started to develop the short roll passing that I'm really excited about. So right here, he's going to set the screen. He's going to get the ball on the short roll. And then look at this right there. Boom. Just a little pass to Ausar who's cutting baseline. It's nothing like that ridiculous, right? Like it's not anything that's kind of mind-blowing or anything, but it's an exciting step for a player that has a lot of development that he can do, right? Because this is a type right there. You see the defense collapsing. That's a good heads-up basketball play, the ability to just pass over Svi and hit Ausar on the cut. Like this is something that I'm just
quick, simple reads actually go a long way in the NBA, and you don't sometimes notice them when guys are making those passes really easily, but I think you notice it when guys aren't. Like I notice
yes.
it with really raw young guys. I'm like, oh my god, it's such an easy read. But yeah, I mean, Duren, the versatility I think is really sticking out.
Absolutely. And then again, so this one I'm excited about because this one to me was a little bit more interesting. So he's gonna look off is it Trenton Watford? I know it's Watford. Yeah, Trenton. So watch him like kind of look off Maxey and Watford there, right here, and hit it to Karras in the corner. Okay, so he's gonna look him off, and boom, and it's like a millisecond. It's very quick, but it's something that like that is something, right? That's not nothing on the short roll and hitting a bullet of a pass over to Karras for three. And again, with what we're describing, right? Teams are gonna try and figure out how to stop this pick and roll with Cade and Duren. And surrounding him with shooters like Tobias and Duncan Robinson, it just makes the floor way more spread out. And if he can initiate on the short floor, oh my goodness, initiate on the short roll, like there's a lot more opportunity here for him. So again, see, set the screen, get the ball, and then this one is interesting to me because he makes a really nice read because Hunter is out of position because he has to roll to tag. Like he leaves Harris to tag him right there. So Hunter goes in to go make this tag because Duren beat everybody, and he's going to know that there is a wide open Tobias Harris right there and just hit him for three. So that was something that I was really excited about. And then this one, Jordan, have you seen this play yet?
Yeah, this is the opening of my recent nerd highlights.
Sorry. It shows incredible. I don't support you. I apologize, but
it's okay. I'm excited to watch it again.
Yes, again. So
by the way, the camera angle for this could not have been
so good. Could not have been better.
Usually it sucks when they change the angle, but this one's perfect.
Yeah. Now you tell me. I don't know if this was even enough of a roll to be considered short roll, but I still wanted to include this this set because it was so beautiful. So here, Cade's gonna be taking the ball up, passes it to Ivy. Duren's gonna back screen Cade's man, and then a little like enough of a roll right there for a short roll. Cade's gonna go around the screen by Ivy and just cut. Look at this beautiful pass. Boom. Could not be more beautiful right there.
It's like awareness. Like he actually set the screen on Ajax. Ajax is now trailing Cade, and Duren knows when Duren catches the ball, he's like, Cade's gonna be open because I just hit Ajax. I know he's trailing, and it's like it's just simple, instant reads like that. You're right. He's definitely made a bit of a jump there as a passer. So I think, I mean, how far are we going with Duren? How excited are we? Are we freaking out? Are we all-star right now, obviously, but what is the future like for him? What does this development mean? Is this a flash in the pan? Is this as good as it gets, or does he have more in him? Does he become like a true like perennial all-star?
Man, it's a great question, and I don't know. Like I think the amount of excitement I have for him right now, just in terms of the step that he's taken so far this year with the development, I don't know what the limit is. If you tell me that he develops this 3-point jump shot, I would probably say that that's just far-fetched, and I don't know if that's going to happen. But I really think he can be this borderline perennial all-star and a really, really great number 2 to Cade and on an awesome Pistons team.
I agree. I think he can be like in and out of the all-star game for multiple years, and I think the fit with Cade and the fit with this Pistons team could not be better. Like they are, their whole energy. I know the Bad Boy Pistons go way back, but like the personnel of this team specifically is physical, in your face, toughness. Yeah. How could you have a better center for that stuff than Jalen Duren? And to give a guy like Cade who's so dominant and elite in the pick and roll, an awesome lob threat like Duren. That stuff is so obvious and perfect. And now it's like, if he makes this actual skill jump in this skill development that we're seeing, then it becomes, okay, now this is actually your second guy. Now you just fill out the rest of the roster. So that would be really interesting, because that's not what I thought Duren was going to be. No. I thought Duren was going to be an awesome rim runner, an awesome rebounder, a really good defender, but I didn't know he could be like, he could take on scoring load and he was going to start creating offense out of thin air like he is now. Like, it's getting to the point where if he has a matchup that he likes, he's just going to score.
Well,
and I think you're going to start to see even more of that.
Well, I'm excited to see what they add, right? If they make a big move at the deadline, like I know Ivy came back and played, I think yesterday, and he looks pretty solid. It's going to take him a while to get back because he's been out for so long. And I personally, I would really hope they don't trade Ivy, because I really like Jaden Ivey. But the idea of like maybe adding Lauri Markkanen or Trey Murphy is the one that I really like. Where
going on Lauri,
I think. Well, who do you prefer over? Like, would you prefer Lauri Markkanen or Trey Murphy on this team?
Lauri's just a better, different caliber of player right now.
In a vacuum, I totally agree. I think the price of Lauri, I think I would prefer Trey, because I'm seeing something like
what the price is, but
I'm seeing something like a ton of first round picks and things like that. And he just signed, I believe he signed an extension or something like that. Like, he gets kind of expensive, but it's worth it, right? It's worth it to do that win now, especially if this team is awesome. But yeah, someone like Trey Murphy or Lauri is just really perfect, and then you don't have to rely on Duren as much in terms of what his ceiling may be. You don't really have to kind of push him to that right away.
Yeah,
like, you can let him develop.
Kind of like whatever he gives us is a cherry on top of what we have. Yeah,
absolutely. And then especially with guys like the two that I mentioned, like that, they really can stretch the floor in a way that just opens up so much more possibilities. Like, the addition of Duncan Robinson has been really, really important for this team, right? Because when you lost Beasley, then he was like one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the NBA last year. That opened up a big vacuum for, 3-point shots and things like that. And they needed people to fill that in. And they got it with Duncan Robinson. Like, his off-ball movement and his shooting ability has been really, really integral to what this team's trying to do.
His gravity too. Like that play I showed where Duren caught it and did his little gather on the roll. Like, Duncan's just getting two guys on him all the time and passing out of it and creating offense. So yeah, I totally agree. What do you got next for the film?
So with Cade, he has been, he's been incredible this year. Like, I think what he's done, and he already took a leap last year, but the little mini leap that he's taken this year has been truly just fascinating to watch. Right now, he's averaging 27.4 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 9.9 assists per game, and 2.2 stocks. Good. Yeah. So he is third in the NBA at in points per game as a pick and roll ball handler. So he has been just, out of this world as a pick and roll ball handler. And for me, like, the biggest thing that I've been really excited about, I think I made a video about this a while ago, but Cade's vision, specifically in the pick and roll as a passer, has been incredible. So we'll start with this first play here. You're going to see Ron Holland. He's going to set a down screen for Duncan Robinson. This is going to trigger a DHO with Duncan Robinson and Jalen Duren into another DHO with Cade. If you notice, Jordan and I were talking about this clip beforehand. Robinson's going to start to look like kind of stop, like he's going to shoot. He does this because the defenders now have to he has that gravity. The defenders now have to react to this. You're going to see both eyes of the defenders on here. You're going to see Cade into another DHO right here. And then obviously with the two screens with Duren, and then bam, look at that. Just a beautiful pass. Like, that is one where he kind of looks off Powell on the pass. And it looks crazy, right? Because with the way that his body's angled, like, maybe you think he's going to do like a more laser beam kind of pass to Duren here, or maybe you even think he's going to kind of like twist it over to Robinson. Both are good options. Maybe you even think he's going to get over to the corner here. But what he does instead is like this fourth option that you never really think of, which is this oop right here. And the way that he angles the pass is just beautiful.
Yeah, total no look too. That actually speaks more to Duncan's gravity too, because Powell's so worried about him as a shooter. It just speaks more to the perfect fit of everybody on this team.
Absolutely. Okay, next play here. So Cade, he slips before the screen, right? Boom. And then he's going to draw two, okay? There you go. Boom. He's going to draw two, okay? Patrick Williams, he is just completely, you're supposed to see ball, see man. He is not doing that. He's got full eyes on Cade. He's going to drive baseline right here. And as everyone is just closing in, kind of just really focused on what Cade has to do, because Cade has this gravity, right? Like, look at how this whole defense reacts. Everyone rotates to cover for Cade. You're going to see Ausar just slowly go baseline, and he's just going to rocket a beautiful wraparound pass to Ausar for that easy dunk there. So again, just showing off this vision and that passing repertoire that he has. So right here, it's a little early. I kind of cut the clip a little bit too quick, but Javonte basically splits the defenders, Okogie and Jabari Smith right here. And Cade is going to take Okogie off the dribble for a second. Boom. Okay, right here, takes him off the dribble. And he's going to do this like crazy move, which just gets a crossover, gets Okogie out of position. As Cade is driving, again, Alpi and Steven Adams, Reed Shepard, Jabari, they're all seeing ball, seeing man. But no one really picks up on Javonte Green, who's just going to slip, and then boom, right there. Just a really nice pass from Cade. We can kind of run it in full speed there. Just going to go up, and boom, nice pass to Javonte right there. Good cut, good eyes. And then here, you're going to see Beef Stew. He's going to set a screen right there. And then this is just a beautiful threading of the needle. So you can see Duncan Robinson in the far corner. It takes a lot in real time to download all this information with a millisecond and just hit Duncan Robinson in the corner with that pass. It's beautiful, leads to an awesome Duncan Robinson 3. And then this one's my favorite. So Cooper's going to come up and double. And as soon as Cade sees this, you watch Ausar, he's going to flash to the middle right there, foul line, and boom. As soon as he sees that double, just beautiful on the money for an easy bucket right there. And then finally, this one. So you're going to see he's got the mismatch on the Drummond here, who's helping and hedging. They're going to come around. He's going to get doubled with Oubre. Then Drummond's going to blitz him right here. And as he's blitzing, Grimes is going to step in to help. So he's got 3 guys on one, basically. Grimes is kind of not there, but it's like 2.5 guys on one. No one's going to tag Duren in time. Like, VJ's going to come over to tag, but he's late. And watch Duren just push him off.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
too small.
Finish. So, yeah, I mean, like with Cade, there is just so much possibility there as a scorer and as a facilitator. And I've just been loving watching what he's been doing so far. Like, I am fascinated about him as a player because he has just been so awesome.
He has been awesome. I've also been impressed with him on defense, his rim protection, his just attention to detail, his intensity. Like, Cade has just been a total pro for his whole career, and you're seeing, you know, the jump again this year. I think there are still like skeptics out there of like, can Cade be your main guy? Can he be your best player if you want to win the entire thing? I'm not entirely concerned about that conversation. What I know is I think Cade can be the primary ball handler on a championship team. And that is saying a lot because you have to be a really high level processor. Yes, there are some scoring limitations with Cade, but what he does as a passer, as an advantage creator, and I think he's honestly more than polished enough as a scorer to play that role and at a really high level. I really want this team to make a deep playoff run and so we can see what they're made of in these high leverage moments.
Definitely. Also, not to mention, they're 14-2. So we should talk about that. They're 14-2, and I think the game that I watched that I was like, whoa, this feels real. And it's kind of weird because it was actually, they were playing the Wizards and Cade took like way too many shots, but they had no business winning that game. I think they're down by like 6 with like 30 seconds left. They came all the way back. Dennis Jenkins hits a huge 3 at the buzzer to tie it, send it to OT, and they just took care of business. And when I saw something like that, the teams that are good, they win games like that. The teams that are really like legit good, that are just a level above other teams, those are the types of games that they win. And to see them, you know, win a game that they have absolutely no business winning in that fashion, that really was like, whoa, this is really something. And Cade in that game, he was like hurt. He was taking a ton of shots, and he still was a positive on the floor.
Yeah, and it was one where like he's missing all these shots that he is used to seeing go in like for his entire career.
Like, and he's exhausted.
Yeah, and they still find a way to win. So that's a good point. But we do got to mention the defense. I think they were 8th in offensive rating, so good. That's a good jump up from last year where they were more middle of the pack. They might have been 12 to 15 range last year. Mm-hmm. So 8 this year on offense is good, but they're number 2 on defense with a 110 defensive rating. Quick note, OKC is number 1 with 102. So
Yeah.
not very close there.
No, not at all.
Which is insane. But
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about defensive rating, you should basically exclude OKC. So Detroit is number 2 at 110. And I'm going to focus my film on Ron Holland and Ausar Thompson, who have a defensive rating of 97 when they're on the floor together. That's a small sample. It's only 114 minutes, but they're at 1.8 and 1.7 steals, respectively. You can't play these guys together all that often because of the offensive issues, but man, when they are on defense, is it reminiscent of the Terra Twins in Houston? Like it is hard to dribble up the floor. And we will see some of that. But you got anything to say before the film, Max?
Yeah, well, they're third in steals. The Pistons are. They're third in blocks. They're second in defensive rating, like you mentioned. And I mean, with this lineup or with those two guys, like obviously they're two non-shooters. And what's been funny with the Pistons is they'll play lineups with 4 non-shooters on there and just kind of be like, fuck it, our defense is good enough.
All right, let's get into some Ron and Ausar. Who doesn't like that? That's what you came here for.
Yes. For Nagy asked us in the chat, can Tobias Harris and Duncan Robinson score 10 plus? Yes. I think he's asking for a bet for tonight potentially because they're playing the Pacers.
Let's get into it. Let's get into the defense on this team. Ron Holland guarding Cole Anthony here. Jericho just slips out of this screen, so Ron just has Cole Anthony one-on-one, and Cole gonna try to drive, but come right into my office where Ron Holland can just slide and mirror the drive, be physical. Great hands, takes it away. That's just easy stuff. I love this one. Dennis Jenkins pressuring. Ron Holland is going to meet JRE up at the logo. And the Pacers did this to themselves, man. Like the Pacers defensive style last year is why teams are playing like this. I'm not saying the Pistons wouldn't be playing like this, but just overall across the league, you're seeing a crazy uptick in pressure. And when you got Ron Holland pressuring like this, can just swoop around here, get his hand in there. And then Jenkins, like shout out to Dennis Jenkins, man. This guy has just come in out of nowhere, didn't know his name until 2 weeks ago. And now he's making plays like that. Holland with the easy finish. Now it's time for Ausar, who, I mean, he's making an all defensive first team case. It's pretty simple. Puts his hand up here to contest and then keeps his hand up in the gap. Now he's back up guarding Grimes, and he's got some of the most active hands in the entire league. Not only does he have like the best hands in terms of accuracy and just going to poke that away, but it's constant activity. You can't relax for a second when Ausar is around you. Here he is guarding one of the other best athletes in the league, Ja Morant. Ja just hits him with a little hezzy and a blow-by attempt, but that doesn't work when Ausar's on you. So he just takes that one too. Just a ridiculous athlete being able to move and slide his feet like this. And then again, the hands are they're the class of the NBA. Yeah. It's like him, Caruso, Kaysen, a couple other guys maybe, but Ausar is near or at the very top of that list when you talk about hands. Here he is, Ryan Rollins, having a great year, but not going to have a great time bringing it up against Ausar. Again, like this isn't normal. Like he just has the length and the timing and the aggressiveness and the intensity, the intention to just take the ball away from you when you're dribbling. So Pistons are causing a ton of turnovers. Both Ron and Ausar are a huge part of it. The lineups when they're in together are cinema. I understand that you can't do it a lot, but man, is it fun when they do.
It is fun. And also those guys are some firecrackers. Like when it's a lineup with like Beef Stew, Ausar and Ron Holland, it's like, okay, which one of you guys is getting into a fist fight right now? I can't wait to see. Yeah, man, the defense is incredible. Those guys are freaking ridiculous. Just it's got to be when you're a guard and you're going up against the Pistons, you must just be like, fuck.
Somebody else, please take it up. Can we have the forward take it up so I don't have to? Yeah.
Also with that too, it's got to account for their depth as well. Like the other night they were playing
legs. And their youth, their energy, just everybody, the all out effort. Yeah, all of it.
Well, I was thinking about it, like the other day they were playing the Bucks, and I was like, Javonte Green gives them great minutes. And Ron Holland, obviously, Chaz Lanier, shout out Go Vols, Tennessee. Like that guy can shoot the hell out of the basketball. Clintman, like I still have hope for him. Like he'll get in every once in a while, and like Dennis Jenkins out of nowhere, like you said. And then Jaden Ivey's coming back. Like this could all change. It's very exciting. Let's talk a little bit about another team that's been extremely interesting. Now, they made a bunch of changes this offseason. They got rid of Kevin Durant, obviously. They brought in a new coach. And there has been a complete mentality switch with this Suns team, Jordan. Like they are fun to watch now. A culture shift.
Yeah, it's been great. It's it's Dylan Brooks, it's Jordan Knott, it's this defensive focus. Matt Ishbia is going at guys on Twitter saying their defense isn't going to be that bad, and it is not that bad. Matt Ishbia,
not guys, not guys. He's going after Bill Simmons, our the pod father.
No, he's yeah. I thought maybe
that's what initiated it.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah,
I wanted to shout out. There's a guy on Twitter, Stefan. Excuse me if I mess up his name. Stefan Prigion Gardner. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. I'm sorry if I did. Check him out on X. He is freaking awesome. He covers the Suns. He was actually just on the dunker spot with Nikias, and like his content is really, really great. Like he just clips stuff from the game and we'll just be like talking about actions and stuff. This is honestly where I got a lot of these clips from, is from his Twitter. So check him out. He noticed a lot of stuff. And when we were deciding what topics we wanted to cover, I was watching that Suns Timberwolves game. I was watching the Suns Blazers game a while back, and I was like, the Suns are freaking fun. So let's talk about these guys. Did you have anything to say before we hop into the clips here?
No, I mean, pull it up, but the like league pass rankings.
Yeah,
so wrong. If you think about last year where the Suns were, I think dead last and literally dead last right away. Like within a couple weeks, we were like, oh, we don't want to watch this team. They don't want to play. Like they don't want to be here. And now it's like every time I see the Suns, it's hard for me not to watch. What they did to Wemby defensively was unbelievable. I'm going to show some of that. So yeah, just huge props to Jordan Knott. And like you said, the culture has changed. It is fun to watch. They're moving the ball. They're built around Booker. And Booker's still like one of my favorite guys to just watch when he's got the ball in his hands and he's got like all this control now. And they're really relying on him offensively. But that's what these teams like end up with when, you lose a guy like Kevin Durant and you bring in a bunch of defenders. Like, yeah, you're going to build the offense around D-Book and you're going to just play your ass off on defense. That is a really fun style to watch. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like they run a lot of really interesting sets. And one guy that's been popping off the screen here for me is Collin Gillespie. He was incredible in that Timberwolves game. He played pretty well against the Spurs last night when they got that win. That was definitely like a schedule loss, coming off of a game like the one that they had against Minnesota, going to San Antonio. San Antonio's missing a ton of guys. That's a game that usually teams lose. And the Suns, they looked like pretty bad, honestly, for the first half. And then whatever Jordan Knott said to him at halftime just completely flipped the switch, and they were able to get it done. So wanted to kind of break down what I was seeing here with what they've been doing with Collin Gillespie, because it's been really great. So this is a really fun, just a really fun set here. You're going to see Royce bringing the ball up. He's going to kick it to Oso. This is going to initiate a back screen from Isaiah Livers, right? And off this screen, Gillespie's going to cut extremely hard. And then look at this bounce pass right here from Oso Ighodaro. Beautiful bounce pass to Gillespie, and bang. I don't know how to pronounce Collin Gillespie's last name, so I'm gonna
Gillespie.
Gillespie. Okay. Hard G. All right, we're gonna stick with the hard G. So Collin Gillespie. Doesn't feel right saying it that way, but that's probably his name. I apologize, Collin. He's averaging 11.4 points per game, 42% from the field, 43% from three, 5.1 assists per game.
Than he is from the field? How does that?
That doesn't make sense. That can't be right.
No, that's awesome. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then 5.1 assists and 1.5 stocks. So really, I think he's averaging like 3 more assists per game. He like doubled his scoring. He's been going off. So what they do is they run a lot of these sets like specifically for Gillespie, which is interesting because you wouldn't think about that. Like this is a guy that was cut from Denver basically, and now he's playing a really important role for this team. So again, shout out to Stefan Prigion Gardner. This is another one that he talked about. It's a 2-guard set right here. So you're going to see Booker is going to set this ghost screen, and you're going to see him just kind of hover around, like fade out and hover around to the top of the 3. No one talks, and boom, right there.
The Gillespie gravity, you could say.
The Gillespie gravity, exactly. And that's on Ben Suraf, okay? So Ben Suraf, no one talks about like what to do, that no one says to switch or whatever, and they get confused, and boom, Booker scores wide open 3, okay? So again, same look, 2 guard action right here. This time, Ben Suraf is going to be like, okay, I saw this happen literally minutes ago. I'm going to switch on to Devin Booker here. This is going to cause Gillespie to switch on to Zaire Williams. His feet are just not set. And look, he's just going to boom, take him off the dribble, step back, filthy, boom. Like, I mean, he was, look at the stride that he takes. Whoop.
Yeah, so, nasty.
Yeah, disgusting right there. So that those guys, Booker and Gillespie, with those guard actions, those guys really have a good feel for each other. And then this one, so this is the game, the Timberwolves Suns game that I was talking about. Incredible game. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch this game. It was so fun. Here, the T-Wolves are up by 1 with 11 seconds left. I went back and listened to the post-game comments from Jordan Ott. He said this play ran exactly how they wanted it to. They wanted Gillespie to get the switch onto Dante and take him off the dribble. Now, Dante DiVincenzo is a pretty good defender. So that shows that there's a lot of respect for Collin Gillespie if that's your plan, is to get him to get that switch and to get that final shot to win the game here. So you're going to see right away, just going to get a little down screen from Mark Williams there. And then you're going to see right there onto McDaniels, you're going to see Collin come up, get the inbound pass. Immediately, they're just going to have Royce O'Neal. It's not even like, would you even consider this like a ghost screen? Because he doesn't even screen. He just kind of runs at McDaniel and kind of runs away. It's not really a screen. But that little like hesitation, that little space that's created from that right there, it initiates the switch with Dante. And then boom, Gillespie just gets his front step on him and takes a really interesting shot, like a little runner. Pretty awesome shot. And obviously wins the game for him there. This is a big time play to call for someone like Collin Gillespie. Like, this is awesome. This shows a lot of trust with Jordan Ott right there. Just a really fun really fun set. And then again, back here, so you're going to see this one. Oso is going to set so Oso's right here. He's calling it out. Like, I don't know what this must mean, flare screen or like a set or something that they want to run. Because Oso is calling this out like seconds before it happens, right? So boom, he's gonna set this little flare screen for Collin. And initially, like, Booker has his back to him, so obviously like can't see him. But watch what he does. He just kind of he's gonna linger down and just go over here. Maxime Reynaud is just not paying attention. He kind of like points at him lazily, but doesn't actually do anything. And then boom, just wide open for 3. So I'm excited to see, them like actually do stuff that looks like basketball. I don't know what you think though.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think the Gillespie stuff has been really fun. Like you said, a guy that weren't totally sure if he was going to make it in the league, and now he's coming out and he's got this huge role, and he's like a top option on this offense. Is he the third best offensive player, the second best offensive player? Like you said, they're using him in real actions, and he is a major threat for defenses to try and stop. So yeah, it's been great. So let's go to the defense. They are 7th in defensive rating. If you watched the Suns at all last year, that is a massive jump. So what they've done is really impressive. They are 3rd in forced turnovers. They're 2nd in steals, 5th in deflections. They're 3rd in loose balls recovered on defense. They got a bunch of guys contributing. Dylan Brooks has been awesome, leading them in steals. Goodwin is 3rd on the team in steals at 1.4, but he's 8th in minutes. So you think of like the steals per minute or steals per 100, steals per 36. Jordan Goodwin's been an absolute dog on defense. They just have a whole team of absolute dogs, it seems. So we are going to watch some defensive tape right now. All right, let's get it. So D-Book guarding Dante here. He's actually going to fall down a little bit, but he's going to get back up and work good. And now Dante coming around this screen. Look at Mark Williams. He's going to be up at the level. Book is chasing over. And now Brooks is going to be really early here to tag Rudy Gobert. And that means Julius Randle's the read here, right? Ryan Dunn is guarding both these guys, but Dante knows Randle is the read. That skip to the corner is the read, but it's really hard to make that pass when you got a 7-foot guy in your face. You got another guy trailing you, and this is a theme that we're going to see, like just crowding the ball, making ball handlers play in a crowd. Again here, Ant's dribbling, and Goodwin comes in from off the screen. Now there's 3 guys guarding 2, which is fine because when it gets the ball out of Ant's hands, now Iguodaro can just rotate to that drive. Gillespie, you saw him just stunt at this drive. He's going to stunt at Rob and then recover, get the steal. We're out and running. Again, like getting the ball out of the best player's hands, making guys play in crowds, making other guys make decisions. This is a really good example of how to make a guy play in a crowd. So Tumani has it. Look at Royce in the gap here. Like deep in the gap. Mark Williams is going to rotate over into help before there's any drive. Booker's just going to do his best here, but look at where Tumani ends up. He goes baseline, and Mark Williams has just been really active and awesome on defense, hands up, and then you got 2 guys guarding 2 over here, and Brooks inside position on Robert Williams, and then he can still rotate and get this steal, and again, get out on the break. But it's just like putting ball handlers in really tough spots and making them make tough passes with other guys aware in the passing lane has been a huge theme watching their defense so far. And another huge theme for me has been just everybody like OKC levels of crowding the paint and shrinking the floor. So you got 4 guys in the paint on this Denny drive, a 5th guy just outside of the paint. Booker gets his hand on this one, and then I think Brooks tips it, and then Dunn tips it, and they still can't get it. But bad pass here and another steal. So again, just collapsing to the ball, making guys play in a crowd. And then what they did to Wemby, like there's been so many videos made on this. I made a TikTok on it that did all right. But what they did to Wemby this game blew my mind. And I was actually really upset that we didn't get to see Wemby against them in the rematch. But watch them here. They're switching everything. So on this little action here, Grayson's going to switch on to Wemby, so there's never a clean catch for him. He's never going to have a second where there's not somebody attached to his body, and Phoenix's personnel allows that with a lot of switchable guys. And then watch Dunn here. Here comes this cross screen. Dunn is going to react to this so well, knowing this is for Wemby, knowing Dunn has to get on top of this, and he does get on top of it. He fronts it. You're denying that catch. Now watch him push the catch out, be physical, push Wemby way off his spot. This play is designed to get Wemby a low post touch and a post up. Dunn pushes it all the way out to here. That's amazing in and of itself, but now he's also athletic to go up and tip this ball away. They say that you can just throw it up to Wemby. You can just throw it up and he'll go get it, but apparently not when Ryan Dunn is in the picture, because that's an incredibly athletic play to go up and get it. And I do want to talk a little bit about this communication on the backside. So both Book and Grayson are going to call out to Mark Williams. Like, watch this. They both put their hands up, pointing over to him. Grayson's grabbing him, shoving him over, like, you're the guy to go double. So just good, like, leadership on the defensive side, communication, and Williams is the guy who ends up saving it from going out of bounds. So their defense has been incredibly impressive. The effort, the communication, the activity, the steals, forcing turnovers, shrinking the floor. It's been like a Jordan Ott masterclass combined with full-on buy-in from the team, and some really good defensive personnel to go with it.
You mentioned Mark Williams, like his recovery and what he's been able to do defensively. This is where I come in here. Well, actually, more so Stefan, again, shout out to him. Please check out his content. I got this from his Twitter because these clips were awesome. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was hard to find a bunch of Mark Williams switching tape. I just didn't have enough time to watch all the film to gather these clips. But I got 4 good ones from Stefan's Twitter here that I wanted to kind of break down a little bit more in depth, because one thing that's happening is Mark Williams, the guy that they traded for, obviously they didn't have a center coming into this year, and they drafted Malawach, who's a bit of a project, but they also brought in Mark Williams, and they thought they kind of brought him in with the hopes that he could be this defensive anchor, and he's shown the ability he has the potential to do that. And really with him, it's starting because his switching has been really, really solid this year. Like, he's not perfect. He still has areas where he can grow, but the switching has been a lot better than usual and has been impressive this year. So first clip here, you're going to see Mark Williams. This is where we're talking about. So here, he's going to get pulled into this action when Kelly Olynyk drives here. So you're going to see Mark Williams is pulled into this action. You're going to see Sohan is going to kind of drift up top here. So Mark Williams is going to turn around, and he's going to completely recover and do a closeout. And he's just so big that he doesn't need to actually like fully like, you know how most guys, they close out with their hand down right in the guy's face. First off, Sohan's a non-shooter, so you don't really need to close out that hard, but he does it pretty well, because with Sohan, right, as a non-shooter, you're worried about him driving, so he's going to dig deep, get into his defensive stance, and he's tall enough where he can put a hand up to contest any shot, but he's also wide enough and just set enough where if Sohan does want to drive, he's there to kind of block him off. Then Sohan immediately sees that he has Mark Williams on him. He's like, all right, well, Keldon is a way better offensive player than I am. Why don't I initiate this switch here by setting a screen on Devin Booker? So you're going to get Keldon Johnson to switch. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't pointing at Keldon. That was Duren. But Keldon right here. And then boom, right? So you got Keldon Johnson switched on to Mark Williams, okay? And you would think Keldon Johnson, he's got some handles, got some speed. Let's see what he does here. And boom, off the switch, Mark Williams just stays in front of him and just completely forces him to just reset and just pass out. Like, there's literally off that screen, there was nothing he could do. He just had to reset.
His wingspan is ridiculous.
Absolutely. And when he's set back in his spot like that, like, you're really going to, You really think you're gonna drive past him? Like, even if you have a quicker first step than him, look at that gate, like how wide his stance is. He can just completely cut off anybody there and meet him, even though Keldon might have a quicker first step on him. So that's the first example right there of just him being really good at switching and just kind of causing the defense to just fix this action here. And then again, you're gonna have a screen with Zubats here. He's gonna switch onto Harden off the screen. Now Harden immediately calls for an ISO, which is what he's known to do. So boom, just ISO. And then, like, I would say any player that is a mismatch with Harden in the ISO, I'm pretty scared for. But he just does so well. He's gonna get in his stance, not crowd too much. He doesn't want to get burned with the first step. He's just gonna. He does actually get a little bit like boom, Harden cuts him off. But look, like we talked about with that wide gate there, he is able to just kind of stay in front of him, close off the rim there, and it just causes them to reset. And Derrick Jones Jr. is going to airball 3 here. So again, that was just Mark Williams just switching and completely holding up against Harden, who's one of the best isolation scorers potentially ever, right? So I mean, like, this is a very good sign if you're a Suns fan. And then the next play here, this one, he just stops. Did it skip again?
He just gives up.
Yeah, he just completely gives up and resets, and then they just reset the action. Like, there was literally Mark Williams off the screen there. Like, there was nothing Keontae could do, and he literally had like a kind of a step because of that screen action right there. But no, Mark Williams is just so big. He's able to just destroy anything. Like, he can keep in front of everybody. So that was a good one. And then here, so you got a little bit of a stagger screen from Dunn and Zoo. Again, this is going to pull Mark Williams into the action. Again, he's going to get Harden on one-on-one here with the mismatch, but he's just going to cut him off, meet him. Oh shit! Right back there. Okay, he's going to cut him off and just meet him at the point of attack here. And he's so big. Like, if Harden tries to do a runner or rise up or anything, he's going to swat it. If he tries to do a step back, he's long enough to contest. If he tries to drive left, he's wide enough to just block it. If he tries to drive right, same thing. So just going to cut him off, force him to reevaluate, and just kind of reset. So yeah. I know, like, defensive clips aren't the most exciting thing ever, but in terms of what Mark Williams is doing for this team, the switching and the defense is a huge part of that, and you got to be excited if you're a Suns fan.
Yeah, I totally agree. The center position was a major area of need, and then you bring in Mark Williams, who's like, there's a ton of question marks around him, like health-wise and motor-wise, and is he actually, can he be a good defender? Is that in there? Like, when he's in Charlotte, nobody thinks of him as a good defender, but now he's in Phoenix, and you can see, like, in the right situation and with good coaching and with good teammates and good culture, like, he actually has really great natural gifts to use on defense. So yeah, great call out. He's been a huge part of their defense, and I think solving that center position has been a massive part of what we're seeing from them.
Yeah, I think we did it. Those have been the two very interesting teams in the NBA this week. I think the Suns are funny because I don't know what their exact record is off the top of my head, but they could easily be, I think they're like 10-6. They could easily be, like, I don't know. What do you think? They're 11-6. What do you think their potential is for this team? Like, do you think this is a play-in team? Do you think they make a run in the West? Like, what do you think?
No, I think it's probably a play-in team, but yeah, I wouldn't want to play them in the play-in. Like,
no. And also, Jalen Green's coming back. I mean, offensively, that's going to be something for sure.
Dude, that injury sucked because he had such a good game. Actually, a good couple games, and then got hurt. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, so I think, like, this can last. I don't know. I'm struggling with what they actually could be because this schedule gets ridiculously hard soon. Like, the fact that they won that T-Wolves game was pretty awesome. The fact that they won that Spurs game was awesome. Now they have the Rockets tonight. Then they play the Kings. Then they play the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Rockets again, the Timberwolves, the Warriors again, the Lakers, then the Pelicans twice, the Wizards, then the Cavs.
All right, we get a little break there, Pels, Wizards.
But I mean, dude, yeah, like, let's run through it again. Rockets, Kings, Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets again, Timberwolves, Warriors twice, Lakers again. Like, holy hell.
Yeah,
that is so they could very easily be under 500 in a few weeks, but just wanted to highlight them now while they're winning.
Well, I mean, that it speaks to, like, how important it is what they've done, because we know in the West it's a gauntlet for everybody. So you got to take care of business on the games where you have it going or where you have a favorable matchup. So what they've done has been really impressive. And I'm still going to watch them all year and be very happy to.
Okay, thank you all for listening. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and give us some hype. There's like a button you can do to that. That is really helpful for us. And please subscribe to Jordan's channel. Jordan, you're over 10K, dude. Last week you were at like 9K.
Closing in on 12. Yep.
So congrats to you on that.
Thank you to all you guys for subscribing, for watching the nerd highlights, watching a couple other breakdowns. I'm just gonna keep it going, just grinding, just gonna do it. So
yeah,
thank you.
And if you want like an audio version of this podcast, you can listen to us on Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you get any audio podcasts. Spotify, you have the audio or the video option. So if you're in Spotify, you can just click on us to be a video, and you'll have the video pop right up there for you. And as always, just wherever you listen to these podcasts, please like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. That really helps us out. But other than that, thank you all for listening, and peace.